Today, some truly amazing news came from Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple team. There are also many other huge events happening in the cryptocurrency world as a whole, which I believe will have a huge effect on XRP and its possible price movement in the very near future. Pretty excited to bring you today's news. In fact, Brad Garlinghouse had a big day yesterday when he spoke in front of Congress. I'm going to bring you a direct clip from, there is a lot of background behind XRP, Ripple, and New York that you can read about here. I think it was in 2020 that New York law said XRP couldn't be traded anywhere in the state. Here we are about 5 years later, and XRP and Ripple are now working directly with the Bank of New York to store safe crypto coins. That is a pretty big change, you know? Not only can people in New York trade XRP, but banks in the city are also helping Ripple reach a lot more new people. I also believe this is one of the most important pieces of news for Ripple in recent years because it shows that banks are willing to work with stablecoin issuers to offer their clients more services. You could say that companies want to use Ripple's tech because they know how great it is. And yes, that $500 million 0 cents in RLUSD that is being held there could mean great things for Ripple in the future. And listen, I do think there will come a time when Ripple has security with more than one bank. These banks will all help Ripple provide a wide range of services to regular users. What this means is that it could actually move billions of dollars through the XRP system. Also, this is only the first step on a long and exciting trip. There's no doubt that seeing that kind of progress is great. Yes, the crypto markets are very active today because of this and a few other big news stories I'm about to show you. So the price of XRP is pretty good right now, and there's a lot of movement going up, which is pretty cool. Also, we can see that Emirates is making a deal with Crypto.com to add funds. So this means that Emirates is now a flying service like Emirates Air. They're going to let people use crypto to pay for things like flights and other everyday things. That's really cool. Overall, I believe this is a very important move in the right way. After all, crypto is crypto. That's the whole point. It was made. So it's great to see that it's now being used as money, especially in Dubai. I mean, Dubai is a huge place for crypto, new ideas, and of course, it makes sense for them to do this. I believe they will be the first of many. I really believe that Dubai is going at the speed of light. They are doing amazing things for the city and the country as a whole. And they are showing the rest of the world that using crypto can really help countries grow. So many people have moved to Dubai because it is such a great place for the crypto space that I can't even keep track of them all. People who make crypto stuff. So many people who make crypto material are now in Dubai. They're crypto innovators like CZ Binance and many others. Their headquarters are in Dubai or a city very close to Dubai. So yeah, I mean, the UAE is a huge center of innovation when it comes to crypto, and that's just another step in the right direction. As you can see, I think a lot of the crypto industry is doing really well today because of all of the mass innovation and big positive things happening in the space. Really, Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high, going almost to $112,000, 0 cents per coin. This is the first time since May 22 that it has done so. We are now seeing a lot of changes back and forth. Even though this is to be expected, things are moving pretty quickly here. It wasn't that long ago that Bitcoin was worth less than $100,000, 0 cents. There's no question that space is very unstable, but this is pretty cool. As always, XRP is also at around 240, though it is moving around, it's between 238 and 240, which is great. But XRP hasn't reached its all-time highs yet. I think that as the altcoin season heats up and Ethereum gets a lot of volume, it will only be a matter of time before XRP and other altcoins get a big chunk of that volume. One strange thing happening right now is that Ethereum has more traffic than Bitcoin. In other words, things are getting really hot for Ethereum bulls right now. I have to say, that's pretty cool to see. I'm going to play this clip for you. In case you didn't know, Rob Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, spoke at a hearing today in front of the Senate Banking Committee. Now here is a real clip from that. He needed to say many important things. I want to start this about a minute in because this is where he starts talking about the really important stuff. At the beginning of his speech, he just briefly mentions that Ripple has workers in a number of countries and that they are working to bring new ideas to the space and the SEC. Awful, but let's play the clip from this point on, and then we'll talk about more specifics in a moment. We need to keep an eye on markets. People who do bad things need to be stopped, and new ideas must grow. These goals can be met with a productive and workable framework for digital assets and stablecoins. This will increase access to financial markets, boost the economy, create jobs, and put the US on the path to becoming a world leader in blockchain and crypto. Since 2008, the lack of clarity about crypto's legal and regulation status has stopped real progress in the US. When we worked at Ripple, we saw directly how the lack of clear rules can be used against good people. As a result, the jobs, technology, and tax dollars that come with it are sent overseas. This means that regulators have less control over the companies and customers are more at risk. This has been very bad for American companies, investors, and most importantly, customers. Ripple was at the front of this regulation by enforcement effort, and in 2020, it was the target of an enforcement action. We were the first big US company that the SEC sued. We and a lot of other people knew that this loss would be the end of the business. We were lucky that after 4 years of a tough legal fight, we won. The court agreed with us on all the important points, such as the fact that the XRP token is not a security in and of itself. After we won, other people in the market were able to fight back. Even with these problems, Ripple still puts a high priority on educating and working with lawmakers and regulators around the world. Congress should focus on passing ethical and smart laws with these important goals in mind so that companies will feel confident enough to keep doing business in the United States. First, make it clear where our main financial officials can and can't do their jobs. Second, make sure that companies can build in the US without putting investor or consumer rights at risk. And finally, make sure that the US can be a world leader in crypto by fully utilizing the advantages and ease of use that digital assets and blockchain technologies offer. The US has the world's deepest capital markets, the smartest and most skilled tech workers, and a spirit of creativity that has been at the heart of our country since the beginning. We should be the clear winner in digital assets and blockchain for any reason. There are now more than 55 million Americans involved in the crypto economy, which has a market value of over $3.3 trillion, 0 cents. Yes, pretty important stuff. So yes, I do believe this is a very good time for XRP. We're really a part of this conversation, and we're the best crypto company based in the United States. Think about that, right? According to the market price of real cryptocurrencies, XRP is worth a lot of money. That's really cool because XRP is kind of leading the way when it comes to law and just having these talks. I think this gives XRP a great chance to really make money off of it. I guess that's why Ripple is able to form relationships with places like the Bank of New York. Other partnerships are probably being worked on as well, but they can't say anything about them yet. So just think about what could happen. I believe this is the main reason why XRP is doing so well. At the moment, we can see that each coin is almost worth $2.40 right now. I mean, we hit a high point today around $2.42. When I look at the technical signs, I do want to point out that we are still overbought. In the short run, this is a sign that prices will go down. It's still possible for us to keep going up, but I also want to point out that we just touched our top resistance line, which is another sign that we might start going down. So I do believe we are seeing a trend, a very clear trend. Beginning over here and going all the way over here is where we regularly hit higher highs and lower lows. Also, this is a very pretty trend line.